Hi everybody, and welcome to today's session. Today I'm going to be trance channeling Archangel Chamuel. So Archangel Chamuel helps us to connect more to our love state, which is our innate state of being, helps us work on our own self-love and love expressed through creative endeavours also. So today I have my lovely facilitator and friend over to the side who'll be reading out questions from our Patreon T4 community. For those who don't know me, my name is Kimberley and I channel the beings of the light. So without further ado, I'm going to go into trance now and bring forth Archangel Chamuel through, and we'll also have a little debrief as well at the end of the session. Okay, we'll see you on the other side. Hello my dear ones, it is Chamuel coming through. Welcome today.
Hello.
Know that we love you greatly and that we are always with you, for we are you. What is stopping you from becoming fully empowered, fully living the life you chose to explore? What is preventing you is how you see yourself, how you love yourself. It is this frequency of love. The most powerful love of all is self-love. For when you can love yourself, you align to your divine self, to the God that you are. This is the most powerful tool for your evolution, not just in your evolution of consciousness, but the human collective evolution. Love. It is love. It does not come from the mind. The answers comes to you. You are able to tap into all the answers, to the infinite of all that is, from the act of self-love. It is through love, through passions, creativity, where you tap more into this love, into the vibration of love. This love is the creation of all that is. It is through love that all exists, that all is. For all that God is love. For you to define who we are, to define who you are, is love. Love cannot be contained. Love is. You are love. You look for answers outside of yourself. You look for others to make you feel loved. You search for things outside of yourself to allow you to feel worthy. But you are already worthy. You were born worthy. You will always be worthy. Many of you are frightened of self-love. Many of you have limiting beliefs around self-love. That self-love means that it's based in ego. There are many limiting stories in your consciousness about self-love. That it's selfish. That it's about caring for others, putting everybody else before you. But my dear ones, for you to assist another fully is to fully love yourself, for you are your brothers and sisters. It is not from the ego, it is from the heart. It is about recognizing that you are worthy and that you will love. And once you can reach that vibration, you will feel secure. Of course, you always are secure. But security is what brings much fear to you. The fear of loss. The fear of loss of love, of partners, of jobs, of many different situations based on the illusion. You fear loss. And it causes you much fear, my dear ones. Once you can be in a state of self-love, then you cannot lose anything. Because everything you know is secure. Because the universe always provides for you. You are able then to let go of attachments. Let go of self-judgments and judgments of others. And you will not have to go through certain tests where they reflect back what is going on within you. Self-love is the most important, powerful, transformative love there is. For once you can be in that space, your world will be reflected and mirrored as a result of this vibration. Things will shift in your life. The people in your life will start to match this vibration and reflect that love state back to you. Situations in your world will shift to reflect back this state. You will experience much joy and happiness and contentment because the illusion is reflecting back to you your love frequency. When you have self-doubts, when you see yourself as lesser than, the illusion of your reality will reflect back this. It will reflect back these doubts. It will reflect back situations that make you question yourself because you have this fear within you. It is through love. But we know this is a human experience, and this is why you came here. To move through the illusion using the dynamics of fear and love. It is love. Love for yourself, love for others. But you are the most important. For when you focus on yourself, and you are able to be in the frequency of love, you will receive the ideas and inspirations and guidance to assist others if this was part of your mission. To receive this guidance, these inspirations, these steps in your journey, you will receive them. Once you're in this vibration of love, you do not have to do anything but focus on your frequency. We love you dearly, and we are always with you, and we see the shift that is occurring. The collective consciousness has shifted into more of a love state, into a oneness state, and we see the changes that is occurring within you. But at times you fall back into fear, and we are here to gently remind you of your divinity. That you are perfect. Anything else is an illusion. It is not real. How can God not be perfect? How can the divine not be perfect? My dear ones, I am honored to come through in this way, to speak these words, to allow these words to resonate with you. Breathe into these words. This will resonate as truth. These words may bring some fear. They may trigger a reaction within you to allow you to see that you are seeing yourself in a state of unworthiness. Hear these words. Feel these words in your heart. Know that this is higher truth, that you are God and that you are love. Feel God's love, for you are God. Feel the love course through your entire being with your breath. Your breath is God. Your breath is the universe and all that is. My dear ones, I love you. And I'm always here for you. I'm always there for those who listen, for those who call on me. I'm always there to remind them of who they are, to guide them further into their heart center, into the alignment of their God self. I am always here for you. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me, my dear one?
Yes, we are very honored for you to join us.
And I am honored to be here.
I have had just a very profound realization as you were speaking about being part of the creation, being God, which ultimately means we are co-creating. And your original message was about the creativity. And I wondered if the creative endeavors, in fact, are our little tests of how much we judge ourselves as being able to create, as I personally have done it for most of my life. I believed I have no relationship to creativity. And yet in the last year I started dancing, writing a bit of poetry, attempting painting. And as I watched myself doing this, I was watching myself wanting to judge what I'm creating, basically. I wonder if you would speak a little bit more to us about how we can start with simple acts of creativity in order to tap into our own self-worth in knowing that we can co-create on a bigger scale. Thank you.
By tapping into your creativity, you're tapping into who you truly are. You are co-creators. You are always creating, whether you're consciously doing it or not. You are co-creating your entire life. Yes, you came here to explore certain dynamics and certain themes, but it has always been your choice if you want to choose fear over love or love over fear. The inspiration and the guidance has always been with you, but are you always listening? Sometimes you judge this guidance and you take another way, and this is completely fine. These are creative purposes, creative endeavours that are always in play. Your very creation is based on creativity. You were always creating. The life you chose to come here, it was created. You created it. You created the people you wanted to explore this life with. You created the plan of who would be your triggers, who would be your parents, what themes you came here to explore. By tapping into creative endeavors within the illusion allows you to tap into this energy of creation. It allows you to tap into who you truly are. For who you truly are co-creators, for you are God. God is always creating. So by you tapping into creative endeavors, you are starting to remember your creative nature. Not just creating a simple task, you are also creating an aspect of all that is. Utilizing creative forces that creates universes and worlds. By you tapping into what you may seem as mundane activities, you are starting to remember your power as a creator. My dear one, it is showing you these limiting beliefs that you have, these judgments. By tapping into this creativity, it is tapping into your heart. It is showing you how powerful you are as a creator. My dear one, all of you, follow your passion. Follow what inspires you. You do not have to find your passion. You do not have to go out there and make something happen. It's a remembering. You will get the inspiration once you work on your frequency by focusing on love and by focusing on all is perfect. You receive guidance, inspirations to explore certain activities. They may seem crazy for you. Some of you judge these activities. You see activities must bring you a monetary value, so you judge these and disregard it. Some of you have limiting beliefs with abundance and see yourself as not having time for these activities, but they are part of your enlightenment journey for you to tap into these creative endeavors, for it's allowing you to tap into your creative nature as God. So the only activity is to act on your inspiration. Everyone has unique journeys and different creative passions. If you do not know your passion, then practice going within. Practice raising your vibration. What brings you joy? Joy is the key. What brings you joy is where your creative endeavors lie, where you are more powerful in your creative endeavors. It is a path to allow you to explore. Focus on your emotions. Does it bring you joy? If it brings you joy, then this is the next step. Focus on this. Perhaps the path will lead you somewhere else, but you are following the path of joy. And that path of joy allows you to connect to who you are, to your God self. Love is joy. When you judge an activity, you are judging yourself. You are seeing yourself as lesser than. You are seeing yourself not as perfect, but as a limited being. Your inner self does not see yourself in this way. For your inner self is God. Your inner self knows it is perfect. It is the human conditioning and the programs that is in the ego that make you judge yourself. Let go and be from the heart and realize that everything is perfect. All creation is perfect. Are you putting certain standards? Are you attaching certain standards to your creative projects? Are you seeing your creative projects as attached to your identity of who you are as a person? To be a perfect person, do you need to also be perfect in your endeavours? It is always the journey. It is not about the outcome. It is the process of exploring these creative endeavours that brings you more aligned to your God self, not the outcome of it. It is what brings you joy. If it brings you joy, then continue it. Allow it to lead you on a path, even if that path is somewhere that you thought you would never go. Explore it. It allows you to tap into self-love, frequency of love and all that you are as God creators. It is a microcosm of what you are doing on a larger scale. By you doing creative activities, you are remembering there's a process that is occurring within you, and you are remembering that you are a God creator and that you are creating also your life, and you are co-creating an expansion of the entire universe and all that is. You are co-creating the expansion of your brothers and sisters, of all the worlds, of all the universe, of God. As above, so below. Everything is a microcosm. It is joy. Focus on joy and the love to allow you to expand into who you truly are. Thank you for such wonderful questions.
Thank you so much. We have a question from another member. Please compare or contrast our physical excitement with your high frequency spiritual excitement when working on a creative or aesthetic project. Thank you.
Thank you. My dear, it's one and the same. Physical excitement shows you're in the frequency of love, in a frequency of joy. It means that you align spiritually in a high vibration, if you like to term it in that spiritual description. It is connected. If there's a part of you that does not feel joy, then your inner self is showing you that you are not looking something from a higher perspective, that there is judgments within you. For all is perfect. If you are inspired to do a certain activity, then explore it. It may take you down a path where it may create fear, but this creative path allows you to tap into who you are. It may bring out fears within you. It may bring out limiting program that you still hold on to. And this is a great thing. It is highlighting programs that are no longer needed. For when it comes into your awareness, you can then let it go and release it into love. Release it and return home to love. There is no separation from physical and spiritual excitement. It is just showing you if you have any limiting beliefs. Your inner self, your spiritual excitement is always there. For your spiritual nature, your God self of who you truly are is always in a state of joy, always in a state of love, always in a high vibrational state. It is only you as a human who see things lesser than, who sees fear, judgments. So look at that, my dear. What is it showing you about you? What is going on within you? If you're not enjoying it, is it creating fear? Or is it creating a new passion to go into another path? Remember, all is perfect. All happens in divine time. All you need to do is act on inspiration. And you know you're following your path. You're following what is for your highest good. And it's up to you how you perceive the next step. Then it's up to you, if you come across obstacles, how you take that, how you perceive that. Everything is perfect. Everything is love. Your progress, your creative results is perfect. It is not about an end result. It is the process. It is the journey. It is the act of doing, the act of acting on inspiration and guidance. It is the journey. Let go of any attachments to outcome, because the outcome may be not what you think. You may be taken along another path. But if you attach too much importance to an outcome, then you are limited. It may just be a first step to take you in another direction. My dear one, know that all is perfect. And nothing that you do in this reality is attached to your identity. Your identity is based on limitations. You see stories in society. You compare yourself with your brothers and sisters. You do not know their journeys. You do not know why they came here to explore. Let go of all attachments. Who you are is not your identity. It is just an aspect of the illusion. Who you truly are is love, joy. All your brothers and sisters are truly this also. It is your innate state of being. Mighty one. Practice more connecting with the heart. Not here. It is in the mind, in the ego, where judgment comes from. The stories in consciousness that permeate your consciousness about how people perceive you, how you perceive yourself, the status quo, what this means, how this ties to your identity, how this ties to even your identity as a spiritual person. Even their identity as a spiritual person is still limited, because if you make an identity of yourself, you are limiting yourself. For what makes a spiritual person, perhaps you need to do yoga, perhaps you have to always do meditation, perhaps you have to follow certain rules and regulations to allow you to be spiritual, and this limits you. You are all spiritual. Any identity limits you, my dear ones, for you are innately God, and it is about the journey to remember these aspects. You chose certain obstacles. Embrace it. You are God. You wanted the challenge. Go within the heart. Connect more to your heart center, and you'll be able to connect with your God self and all that is, and to the creative forces of who you truly are as a God co-creator. It is not about finding the creative possibilities here. It is here. Be brave to act on inspiration. Is it an abundance issue? Is it an abundance limited perspective that you have? time is based on duality. As you move more into oneness, time does not exist. Time has never existed, but is perceived to exist in your illusion, to manage the dimensional consciousness of the illusion. If you have a passion, focus on it, and you will receive an abundance of time to do so. Due to old programming, you may not think you have enough time. And this is common. Your time will appear for you. You will attract more time, just as abundance of money. All is tied into abundance, and all is a flow of energy. Time is a flow of energy. You can attract more time or restrict more time due to your frequency. It is all attracted. You live in an attractive universe. As you move more into oneness, you will see and experience more possibilities opening up. You will no longer be tied to the older dimensions, to limiting programs. You'll have all the time in the world, and you'll be able to tap into all the creative forces in the world, in the universe. You'll be able to tap in to creative power of God before you are connecting to God. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such beautiful words. For some of us who are unfamiliar with following the inspirations to creativity, could we discuss the less conventional ways to create? Because I see creativity in not simply a painting or a sculpture, or perhaps a story written, but sometimes in the fresh things that we do. For example, picking a different table at a favorite cafe, doing something fresh, going a different path, taking a different route, perhaps to work, or even taking time to be creative with our looks. Sometimes maybe ladies can use makeup if it's not based on judgment, but if it actually brings joy. Could you please discuss the less obvious ways to be creative that could help us tap into creativity?
Receiving the inspiration for you to choose a different path. You are tapping into creative endeavours. For you are in this moment choosing to follow your intuition, you may call it. Maybe a whisper, but you're not consciously hearing it. It is inspiration. You feel like walking a different path. That is tapping into your creative powers. It's about recognizing that you are eternally creative. To act on inspiration is to be in the present moment. If you're not in the present moment, you may not hear the words of inspiration or tap into the creative forces because you are confined by old limiting patterns if you focus on the past or in the future that has not even happened yet. It is about tapping into the present moment, being aware in the present moment. It is here when you can change old patterns and create new creative patterns. You as a human have habitual patterns in your consciousness, programming. But if you center yourself in the present moment, you do not run on habitual patterns. You create from here new expansive patterns based on your new higher frequency. Everyone is different. Whether you're inspired to change your appearance, to take another table, it is all part of the creative forces. By being in the present moment, you'll be able to notice, is this an inspiration or is this an urge? Are you doing it to change the conditions? Are you doing it because it feels good? What is your emotion around it? That's when you know you are tapping into the higher powers of creativity, or you're trying to change the condition just to make you feel better in the moment. Sometimes it is hard to decipher what is an urge and what is inspiration, to know if it is pure creativity. It is to be in the present moment so you can feel the emotion. If you're in a state of joy, then you know that the action is inspired. You know it's for the highest good. Go with it. If there's a bit of fear, that's okay. Push through it. You received the inspiration. You can now act on it, knowing it's for your highest good. If you have fear and you wish to change a situation out of fear, thinking it can change a situation into a better situation, or it can make you feel better because you already feel lesser than, then this is also limited. It may have a short-term effect, but it will just allow you to come back into tests, we would say, events that allow you to look at yourself and to see the perfection that you are, and to let go of attachments of who you think you are and how you need to appear, or how you need to act, or what table is socially acceptable to sit at, for instance. Everyone is unique. If you receive the guidance and inspiration because you feel joy when you receive it, then do it. It's for your highest good. Either way, you are expanding. Either way, you can do no wrong. Either way, you are always on the journey to ever expanding consciousness, to raising your vibration. You can never go backwards. The universe always expands. You always expands. Yes, you may go through a vibrational wobble, but you can never go backwards. You are always expanding. And it is a creative endeavor just to be here and explore life, and working with the elements of fear and love, navigating this illusion, seeing yourself as separate, and then at times seeing yourself in a state of oneness, navigating yourself and those around you in a state in between duality and oneness, fear and love. All these dynamics create a creative force. This is a creative force of the illusion, and you came here to explore it. It is supposed to be fun, for creativity is fun, and you came here to create, to expand who you truly are through being here in the illusion. By being here in the illusion, you tap into the very creative nature that you are. For sometimes it calls on creativity to reach for a higher perspective in the moment, to choose love, even if you're faced with much fear. It calls on your creative powers to see a perspective or a person as perfect. You engaging always your creative power, for you are God. You are always creative. Just by you being here on earth, you are co-creating your reality. My dear ones, the present moment, it's your emotions that guides you. By noticing your emotions, it tells you what frequency you are at. You can engage more creative forces by being in a higher vibration. To be in the creative forces frequency range is to be in the love frequency. By being in the present moment, you can engage where you are in frequency. All what you deem positive emotions are love-based. Joy, happiness, excitement, There are many different nuanced frequencies in between. Do you feel bored? Do you feel sad, angry? There are many frequencies in between this also that are of a lower vibration, you would say. And it is here in these frequency ranges that you attract urges and not creative inspirations. Of course, it is still assisting you in the creative process, but it will allow you to create more situations in your life due to universal laws that allows you to come up against situations, what you may see as tests, to allow you to then choose a higher perspective. You'll be there faced with the fear, with the choice, a creative choice, to see it as fear, to see it as an opportunity to move into love. All is a creative process. All actions are taken from fear or love. Either every action that you choose is a creative process. It allows you to connect more into your heart center. You can do it in a short way in your terminology or a long way. Either way, you're still exploring it in your own divine time. There is no wrong choice. All is perfect. My dear ones, be in the present moment and you'll receive the inspiration and the guidance for your next step. Whether that is doing an activity, whether that is choosing another table, that may seem silly to you to receive guidance to sit at another table, but perhaps by the act of you sitting on a different table, you may meet a certain person that is important for your journey. Perhaps something will occur as a result of sitting on the table. You cannot see the reasons why. Because you see, everything in your life is a creative choice. You can choose not to pick that table and pick to the table that you always know and sit at that table. But you might miss out on opportunities because you didn't act on that guidance. But that is okay. The opportunity, if it's for your highest good and your mission, it will come to you once again when you're ready. It might take you down another path to experience more situations. If you are exploring a certain theme, you'll always be faced with it until you can transcend it into love and into oneness, you see. So you can let go of any forms of picking the right or wrong choice, for all is perfect. It is about the journey of practicing on acting on love as opposed to fear. Much of inspirations that you receive, you'll experience some fear because you'll be doing something that is out of your comfort zone. It is normal. It's part of the human experience to have some fear, but you can have faith in knowing it's for your highest good, and this allows you to have the courage to walk through the fear, to face the fear, and to be brave in the unknown, to be vulnerable, knowing that the actions that you take is always for the highest good. For you are God, you are the universe. No harm can be done to you. My dear ones, remember that your path is perfect, whether you get it or not get it in your terminology. Everyone's level of remembering is different and is unique to their path and what they came here to explore. Some people did not choose to remember. Maybe some people chose only partly to remember. Some people chose not to remember whatsoever. They are still highly advanced, but they are here to play a role for you in your expansion. My dear ones, thank you.
Thank you. There are no more questions from the members. Thank you.
My dear ones, remember that you are love. Remember that you are perfect. If you're having difficulty with self-love, engage in the creative forces in an overt way, then this will allow you to tap more into your creative state, your love state, and this will be able to trigger a process within you to remember your divinity. Follow your joy. It is all you need to do. Through love and joy, you will connect to who you truly are. How do you see yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you judge your appearance? I know many of you do. Do you judge yourself or who you are as a person? Judge yourself on certain acts that you did? How do you see yourself? My dear ones, practice this. Practice looking at yourself and seeing only love. You are God. How can you not be love? How can you not be perfect? Focus on your heart center to be in the present moment, and you will see guidance one step at a time. Everything is assisting you into align to who you truly are. You do not have to doubt the process. It is about trusting that you are safe, trusting that all is occurring for your highest good. Remember that you are your brothers and sisters. You are perfect. You are love. And you are going on a powerful creative journey to discover your divinity, to discover that you are God. And we are always with you. We have always been with you. If you need the guidance to assist you, go within and we are always there. Call on us if this assists you. Open your heart to receiving the love on which you are. To experience the richness of life is to open your heart to all possibilities. Many of you have closed your heart off for fear of fear. And my dear ones, it is through the love that you co-create your life. It is through love, through opening your heart, when you tap into who you truly are, where you align to your God self. Why live a limited life? Be brave, be vulnerable, and open your heart to all that is. For nothing can harm you. It is only here that you perceive harm. Everything that occurs assists you in your expansion. Trust. Trust your heart. Trust that your heart will guide you every step of the way. For your heart is the access to God, to your God self, to all that is. Let go of self-judgments. Know that it is perfect. Even in the moment you find it challenging, reach for a higher perspective. You can be creative on how you choose that higher perspective. The higher perspective that you choose, base it on love and not fear, on oneness and not duality. Engage in these creative forces to choose the higher perspective. It is the creative game of life. You came here to explore this illusion in all your co-creative power, my dear ones. I love you dearly. I am always with you. Farewell. Thank you. for being here also. Until next time, my dear ones. Hi everyone, it's Kimberley again. Well, I hope you enjoyed this session. And how did you find the session today?
Very interesting. Very inspiring, and there's a lot to say, but quite a few things we can use to assess where we are in our self-love. And creative art therapy, I think, has a good place to exist to assist us with this. And I find personally, everything that was just said resonated very deeply, and I can catch myself in where I'm at in terms of self-love and self-judgment by how I react to anything I create, be it big or small. And I think we start paying attention to those little details, we will know always exactly where we're at, which is more than on just intellectual level. If you're still urged to change something when you look in the mirror, if you are doing a creative arts project, but you are continuing to perfect it and continuing to perfect it and continuing to perfect it, you know where you're at. And I think that's very useful to use creativity in relation to self-love. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So it sounds like it was a very powerful session for you then.
For me, yes. Personally, yes. I think I need to collaborate with Archangel Chamuel more often. Thank you.
Was there something that stood out specifically for you personally?
That huge link that I was able to make on a deep level regarding the co-creation and creativity. Because if we don't start the flow of smaller creativity, for example, doing things in a fresh way, as opposed to in a boxed-in way, or the usual way, or habitual way, and everything that flows from it. Yeah, so it's a little way in. It's a little way in. And if you resist it or judge it all your life, it's never too late to start. And looking at something in the fresh way is very powerful, I think.
And you definitely highlighted that it's a flow as well. So if you close yourself off from anything, it's you're closing that flow. So by you engaging in those creative forces, you're tapping into the flow of all that is. So that could be manifested in a small, minute way, or could be just manifesting, creating your life. So I just love how sometimes, you know, we don't notice that everything we are creating is creating all that is. And I love how, you know, there's microcosms in everything and we don't see it. So how we judge ourselves as being a creative person, you know, we are innately creative, aren't we, for God? So it's just very interesting, all the different dynamics in play, but that's why we're here and we're human to experience this. So it's about having a fun journey, so they say. I know sometimes it does not feel fun, but it is supposed to be lived in joy when we can. All right, well, thank you for facilitating today, and thank you all of you for watching. If you want to know more about Beings of the Light and what I do, just jump over to our website at beingsofthelight.com. And of course, we have some wonderful communities attached. We've got a Patreon community. We have obviously YouTube. We've got Facebook and a Facebook group also, and a page. So I invite you all to join that Beings of Light with Kimberley community as well, if you're feeling so inspired. Okay, everybody, well, love and light to you all, and I love you all, and farewell for now. See you later.